guys, welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. We are going to be making a very easy dessert tonight. These could also be considered a fat bomb. And it is going to be chocolate peanut butter cheesecake balls. So come along with me and let's get started. So these are a very simple recipe. They only have 5 ingredients. And you don't have to have a hand mixer, but it helps. And the only thing that you need to do is to chill them, so you don't even have to use your oven. So it's very easy and very simple, and it's something that you could keep in your freezer for at least a couple of months and take them out as you need them. So let's go ahead and get started with this easy dessert recipe. Okay, for your cheesecake balls, you are going to need some type of cookie sheet and either parchment paper, or I'm using a silicone mat, and you're going to end up with around 20 balls for this recipe, so you don't need a giant cookie sheet. You're also going to need a medium-sized mixing bowl and a hand mixer with some kind of attachment. I'm going to be using my whisk attachment. So the first ingredient that we are going to need is 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, and I have let mine sit out overnight. And I am using the Philadelphia brand. I find that it is very low in macros. I have been told that the Aldi's store brand is also 1 carb, but we don't have an Aldi's. So if you do, theirs, I guess, is also an acceptable cream cheese. Okay, into our bowl. And the softness is really going to assist us in incorporating all of our ingredients to make our cheesecake balls. So to that, I'm going to add just a teaspoon of vanilla. We need about 1/4 cup of confectioner's natural sweetener. You can use confectioner's Swerve. You can use any kind of natural sweetener that you enjoy, but it does need to be in a powdered form. If you don't have powdered or you can't find powdered, you can use a granular natural sweetener, and you can put it through your coffee grinder or your food processor. I'm also going to add a small squeeze of liquid natural sweetener, just to offset the cooling taste that the monk fruit erythritol can sometimes provide, and that is absolutely personal choice. As always, here at CJ's Keto Kitchen, we encourage people to use sweeteners that they enjoy, that do not mess with their blood glucose level, that they're able to find, and that work well for them. And also the amount can definitely be adjusted for personal taste. So to that, I'm going to be adding 3/4 cup of creamy natural peanut butter. If you wanted to use chunky, you could, but I'm going to be using creamy in this step. And this is just peanuts ground and some salt. But I am going to give this a stir, because with natural peanut butter, it can sometimes settle. So I'm just going to give that a quick stir with my spatula. So we need 3/4 cup, and I have sprayed my cup so that hopefully our peanut butter will come out well. And I'm just going to pour that in and scoop with my spatula, and it did pretty good. Okay, our next ingredient is going to be cocoa powder, and I'm just using regular premium baking cocoa. You could use cacao if you wanted to. And we need 2 tablespoons of this. And you want loosely packed tablespoons when you're dealing with cocoa, because it can get a little strong if you pack your spoon too much. So you want it just loosely packed. So I'm just going to take my hand mixer, and I'm going to start mixing all of these ingredients together. I started out with my whisk thinking that it would be strong enough, but because of the viscosity of the peanut butter, I decided to change to my regular beaters. Okay, I'm just going to give this a stir with my spatula and make sure that everything got combined. Now, as a final step, I'm going to be adding about a half a cup of chocolate chips, and I'm going to be using the Chalk Zero brand. These are sugar-free, and I'm going to be using the dark chocolate flavor. And all I did was slightly grind them up in my mini food processor just to make little smaller chunks so they're not an entire chip. So it will go a little further in our cheesecake balls. So I'm just going to work that around by hand with my spatula. So we can get a little bit of chocolate chunk in each one. Okay, so now we have our peanut butter chocolate cheesecake batters, and I'm going to start using my cookie baller, and I'm going to begin forming them into balls and placing them onto our silicone baking tray. So I'm just scooping it into my hand so I can just form it just a tiny bit more into a ball, because I do want them to be cheesecake balls. So that's what I'm doing. And if you do not have a cookie baller, you could just use 2 spoons. Do it however you wish. Now our cheesecake balls are going to have to set because they are quite soft right now. So after I get done forming them into balls, I am going to pop mine in the freezer for about a half hour or so, just to firm them up a little bit so that we can dust them with cocoa or confectioner's natural sweetener. Just give them just a tiny bit of a flourish. You wouldn't have to do that if you didn't want to. It's just going to add just a little touch. Alternately, you could also use some ground roasted peanuts if you preferred and make them fully peanut butter. Okay, I'm only able to get 15 onto my baking tray doing it this way, so I'm going to scoot them a little bit and see if I can get the final remainder on the bottom. They don't really have to have too much space apart because they're not baking or anything. So I'm just going to scoot them a little closer together. So we have 19 chocolate peanut butter cheesecake balls, and now I am going to pop these into the freezer for 30 minutes so they can harden up a little bit, and then we can put our little final zhuzh on them. Bye-bye, little cheesecake balls. Okay, our peanut butter chocolate cheesecake balls have been in the freezer for about a half hour, so I just got them out. And I'm going to show you what you can do to finish them. Of course, you do not have to do this if you just want to eat them the way they are. They'll be delicious. But if you want to make them look extra fancy, you could do a couple of these things that I'm going to show you. So one idea is some cocoa powder. And I just put it in my little sifter here. And just sift it with cocoa powder. And there it is, all perfectly cocoa powdered. Now your second option is confectioners. So you just do the exact same thing. Just get a little bit in your sifter and just come over here and sift some confectioners on it. Voila, suddenly it's snow-capped. In making the recipe, you could also roll these in chopped roasted peanuts if you wanted to. If you wanted to be extra fancy, you could also melt some additional chocolate chips and put a drizzle on. You can just let yourself go wild, or you can just eat them all au naturel. So we are going to let CJ have a taste now.
Hi.
We are having a very easy dessert tonight, but hopefully it'll be very delicious. It is peanut butter chocolate cheesecake balls. And
Okay.
I have dusted yours with powdered sugar.
Okay. They're good. It's got the chocolate chips in them. And you dusted this one with powdered erythritol. But it probably would be fine without anything on top of it at all. But it does look fancy. And I could see that if you put nuts or peanuts rolled in that as well, I could see it would add another flavor element. But they're good, and they were easy to make. So good job. I think people will like them. And it's probably something that's perfect during the times that we're in, because it doesn't take a lot of thinking. Pretty easy.
You probably have most of the pantry ingredients,
Right.
especially if you're ketogenic.
Right. And I haven't seen a shortage on cream cheese yet, at least not in our stores. Who knows? But it is pretty simple, and again, it doesn't take a lot of work, or it doesn't even take take any baking.
Right.
So.
Right. And you can keep these in the freezer for a month or two if necessary. So if you make a whole bunch and it's just you could still.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think people will like these. Good
Great.
job, baby. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us again tonight, you guys. We hope that you enjoy the peanut butter chocolate cheesecake balls. I know that we do. I made a peanut butter cheesecake for Christmas time last year. And we also have a recipe up on our channel for that particular cheesecake. And I wanted something that was very much like that. And I think that this hits the spot. So we hope that you think so too. We hope that you will consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you will be notified when we upload new content. We upload on Wednesdays, and that's generally keto conversations. Sometimes it's ketogenic food unboxings or taste tests. And then we also have sometimes what we eat on this lifestyle. So definitely hit the notification bell so you know about that day. And then our new recipes go up on Sundays. So we hope that you will join us again. We are also on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and we release photographs there. Other people who watch our channel will put their photographs of our recipes that they are making, and it is a nice way to help each other on the ketogenic community. So definitely check us out there, and that is CJ's Keto Kitchen on all of those platforms. If you need any information about this recipe, serving sizes, macros, full ingredients list, tips and tricks that we learned while making this, and CJ also puts his follow-up taste test on our blog, and that is cjsketokitchen.com. So definitely you'll go over there and check out this recipe and all the other recipes that we have made so far. We hope that you will come back and see us again, and until that time, we hope that you stay well.